Hello my lovelies and welcome to Sondering Tarot. We're going to go ahead with a new moon reading for November 2022. This is a new moon in Sagittarius, of course. The sun is in Sagittarius. It's Sagittarius season, so happy birthday to all of my Sags. Something else that's important for this astrological alignment this period is the fact that Jupiter trines the new moon. So you do get an extra boost. Those planets are actually in partnership right now, so they have direct influence on each other. They get along pretty well. Jupiter, of course, is the witch's planet, planet of good luck, fortune, silver linings, and abundance. This is a time where a lot of your manifestations could be coming through for you. They could be showing up in the 3D world. It's also a good time to, if you can, grab a hold of energy and actually use it for manifestation. New moons, of course, are about new beginnings, new adventures, things that are new. So we might be removing things to make room for stuff that is new, that is our goal. Or it could be that we've done the work of that already and new things are appearing. New moon in Sagittarius, of course, is going to bring us a little bit more optimism. So you're going to see a little bit more positivity. For those that have been struggling, if maybe the energy has been really heavy or you've been having a lot of chaos here lately, that should calm down a little bit for you during this new moon period, which should be the 23rd or 24th of November, depending on where you are in the world. And we're going to go ahead and do a Celtic cross. This is going to be for everyone, so I'd like to remind you that this is not a one-to-one reading. Please take what resonates and leave the rest. And here we go. I will, of course, be doing all of your cards out on the table at once. And I will go ahead and probably put timestamps in the description below for you to go ahead and fast forward from this intro all the way to just directly to the reading for those of you who don't want to watch me shuffle and have cards pop out. Alrighty. And here we go. We're going to use the Mermaid Tarot right here. Alright, ancestors, just for guides to be true, for guide me. What is the heart of the matter for the collective for this new moon in Sagittarius? Alright, and what's the recent past? Oop, yeah, cards wanting to come out but didn't. Let's keep going. Okay, what is the recent past for the collective? This new moon. Well, that's not surprising. Alright, I think we're probably done with that. Probably done with that for right now. And what's the highest we can achieve? Spirit, what's the highest the collective can achieve this new moon? What is the highest the collective can achieve for this new moon in Sagittarius? Okay. And what is the lowest we can achieve for the collective during this new moon in Sagittarius? we can achieve. Oh, actually, I kind of like that. Okay. And what is advice? What is the advice for the collective during new moon in Sagittarius? Advice to ourselves, advice from others. Spirit, what is the advice for new moon in Sagittarius? All right, which brings us to the environment. Spirit, what's the environment we're in? What is the influence of our environment during this new moon? Not surprised by that either. All right, and what is our hope and our fear? All right, that's a lot. Spirit, did you want the Strength card in the upright? Yep, thank you. Pretty sure it was. Scooch this down a little bit. Move this over just so we have enough room. All right, Spirit, and what's our outcome of this new moon? Whoa. Okay, this came out first. So I'm going to put that there. And this is our rest. Hold on just a second. Just a second. I'm not sure which pile that came out of. Hold on just a sec. All right. And these two cards right here that I was looking at, they actually did come out with these two, and I just didn't grab them. I wanted the King of Swords in the upright. That's now in order. We're going to go ahead and grab stuff from the Lantern Oracle here real quick and see what else they have to say. What else does the collective need to know for this new moon in Sagittarius? Whoa, cards everywhere. What else does the collective need to know for this new moon in Sagittarius? Anything else that my lovelies need to know during this new moon in Sagittarius? Okay, I'm going to scooch this up just a little bit. Get all these in frame. Alright, Spirit, anything else? Okay, that was mildly chaotic. Okay, we're gonna have to get a little creative here on where we put all these. And they're wanting to give you a lot of oracle cards, apparently. And we are still in November, so for those of you that actually watched my November monthly reading, don't be surprised if you see some of the same cards from that reading into this one, because we are within the same month. There's a lot of energy that's still carrying over that you should still resonate and see pop out. Yes. All right, and I do believe we are done with that. All right, we have all our cards. So we can actually jump into our reading. All right, apparently we are not done with the oracle deck. All right. What else does the collective need to know for the new moon in Sagittarius? Oh, and that went right onto the floor. Hold on. All right, anything else? Yeah, so there's not. Makes sense. And that's more decks. More cards out of the deck that went onto the floor. Hold on. I just want to try and give you this entire deck, I think. Alright. That, hopefully, should be the last of it. I'm pretty sure it is. Alright, my lovelies. All your cards are currently on the table, and for those of you who may have fast forward through the shuffling, I'd like to remind you I did do a November monthly tarot reading, and this new moon in Sag is in the month of November, so the energy from that reading does carry over into this reading, of course, because it's within the same month. You may see some similar cards, some reiteration on part of this, just because the energy is still there. But alright, let's get into this, the heart of the matter. And hopefully I can get this to where you can see it without a glare. We have the Emperor here. Temperance in reverse. And the Five of Swords in reverse. So the heart of the matter is that despite any imbalances or anything that is created or not being created right now, there is no conflict. You have the ability to change, to control, to make your own rules. You are the master or mistress of your own destiny. And that's pretty straightforward to the point. You have absolute control about what does and does not happen, what does and does not change for you. Which is great, because here in the recent past, and I'm not surprised this came out, we have a tower. We automatically have a tower moment. So yes, a lot of us have had some struggles, some chaotic times. Things don't feel right. Things had to go. A lot of us have been doing shadow work, which is a dark part of the year. So yes, a lot of us are doing shadow work. We're shedding things that do not serve. So yes, I am not surprised that our recent past is a tower moment. Collectively, that's kind of where we're at as a society. Things are shifting, things are transitioning, things are no longer the same. There is a new normal, and that's going to continue to be a theme. All right, and what we can expect for our lowest expectation. right here, because I'm going to do the highest next. But we have the Empress and the Hierophant. So basically, the lowest we can expect over this time period is for us to really learn what love and beauty and self-care, to educate ourselves, get creative in what we do and do not know. We might have to be adaptable in any workarounds. So if we have problems that come up, we might have to take a new page out of the book. We might have to get creative and find a new method of doing something, just so you know. Hold on just a sec. I want to make sure there's nothing else here. Okay, yeah. And the lowest we can achieve is realizing that there is a lesson to be learned. Just that awareness. Alright. The highest we can achieve. We've got Justice in the reverse. The King of Cups in the reverse. The Five of Cups. The Ten of Cups. And the Four of Wands. And I do kind of like this, and I will tell you why here in just a sec. Because this literally tells us a story. Things that weren't serving us. Things that were not good for our karma. Bad situations. Things being out of balance as Justice. Things that make us not comfortable. Just not comfortable at all. It doesn't speak to our emotions. There's no connection. And we may feel like we're being treated unfairly, whether that's not treating ourselves well or other people not treating us well, for those that are dealing with toxic relationships or beliefs or what have you, whether that's to yourself or from an outside influence. And we have to let that go. And there's a period of mourning for all of that. So this is more shedding that we're seeing. But with that, once we take that moment to mourn it, if we cut things out that do not serve, that makes room for happiness, for freedom, stability, for things that we can celebrate and be happy to come in. So this, I would say, is making room. So identifying workarounds, lessons, and then actually doing something about it and making that room, making that adjustment, and actually putting it into action is the highest we can achieve. Which is great. It totally works. I'm going to see if I can still get this all in frame. It may be slightly out of frame. I apologize if it is. All right, and that moves us clear on to advice. We have the Page of Cups, the Two of Pentacles, and we have the King of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah, okay, advice. In life's juggling act, we have to do what is fulfilling and balance it out with things that may not seem practical. May not seem practical. We may not have plans or goals that we see as practical. We may not be taking action on them, but we do have a choice. Remember, Two of Pentacles is a choice card. But we need to do what speaks to us, what's fulfilling. We do have a lot of love to give. We do have a lot to offer people. We do have worthiness. We have value. And we need to acknowledge that. And yes, there's some people out here that are going to watch this and they need to know that, yes, you do have value. You have self-worth. You are good enough. You are enough. And in fact, I'm pretty sure you have the enough card here out of the Lantern Oracle. Actually, I think it might be over here. So, value. There's a reason why we're getting our King of Cups in reverse up here. We're getting things that aren't applying. You're going to see a lot of different things in this reading because it's going to cover a lot of ground. And a lot of this is going to be stuff letting go as well as bringing stuff in, actions to take. And don't be surprised if we bring up shadow work and value and things like that, spiritual involvement in this. It's going to be prominent just because it was in the monthly reading for November. As I said, that energy is still carrying over. It's still the month of November. You're going to see it, and it's showing up right here, your advice. And it's going to show up here again in our next one, because this is our environment right now. Environment, Ace of Cups in reverse. So what doesn't make us happy? What is unfulfilling? What does not serve us? What do we no longer have a connection with? This is the things that are going to show up in our world, and that's going to be put right in front of our face, and we're going to pay attention to it, because there's going to be no way we can ignore it. There's a lot of things right now going on in the world, our communities, and our homes, and our jobs that aren't making us feel good, that are no longer connecting, are no longer serving. And part of that is because there's a lot of chaos, there's a lot of change, and there is not a lot of reassessment, some balancing that's been going on to find your ground. A lot of times it's chaos, plain and simple. You gotta have some grounding. And actually, I picked the forest tapestry, and I'm playing actually forest music in the other room. I don't know if you can hear it, but grounding exercises are going to be something that you're probably going to want to attempt to do. You may feel the call to meditate, work with crystals, etc. Also, I told you that in the monthly reading if you haven't seen it, and it's very valid. In chaotic times, you need to have an anchor. And right now we may feel kind of a little lost at sea. There's not a lot to ground us in what we call normal, and that's because that has continued to change repeatedly with events. And if I can get these out of here without sliding them all over, that would be great. Our hope and our fear. We have the Strength card, the Three of Wands, the Eight of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Page of Wands. Okay, we're going to break this down just a little. Do this one card at a time, I think, maybe. Strength, endurance. You are resilient. You've been through a lot. A lot of us have been through a lot in the last 2 years. We have a pandemic. We have war in the world right now. We have chaos. Very difficult energies. A lot of us are probably going through an awakening period, or we're doing shadow work. And strength is key. Being able to be adaptable, to learn, being teachable is a very much a strong suit. But with what comes with that is our ability to expand, to grow. And unfortunately, when we use our higher self, when we want to improve ourselves, when we have that urge, there's always going to be things with this Eight of Cups that we have to walk away from. We have to cut things out. We have to shed things. Things have to go. If we keep everything, not only is that heavy, it weighs us down, it's extra baggage, it's stuff to carry around, but if you do the same thing you've always done, you know, you'll always get what you always got. Hence why you always have to make room. Knight of Cups. What speaks to your heart? What's fulfilling? What do you dream of? There's love, hopes, and dreams in that cup. So once you let go of something and you make room for all that love, all that emotion, all those dreams, all those hopes that can come to the surface, eventually they will, even if you don't think so. But you have to take action. Page of Wands in reverse. You have to take action. If you don't take action, or if you believe that you can't do this, if this is your negative self-talk, if this is your ego stepping in your way, then it won't happen if you let that stop you. If you're not taking action for those reasons, if that's keeping you stuck. But if you get out of your own way, if you shut up your ego, if you say, yes, I can, if you say, I am enough, and you make that fear turn into hope, you get that Knight of Cups. You get that cup. And instead of being in an environment where you may not feel so fulfilled, it turns the other way. It becomes fulfilling. You get that love. You get that joy. You get that creativity. You get that excitement. You get that nurture. You get that partnership. You get that dream job. You get a whole bunch of other stuff. Your environment starts to change once you face things and let it go. And the hope is that your changes you are making, all this work, especially after this tower moment you had in the recent past, will come to fruition. It will, but like I said, you have to take action. If you don't continue momentum, if you don't continue with it, you'll get stuck. Alright, which brings us to our outcome here. Oops. I don't send cards flying across the table anyway. We have the Fool in the reverse, the Eight of Swords in reverse, Judgment, King of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles reverse, Page of Swords reverse, and the Hermit reverse. Okay, hold on just a sec. All right. For all of this, we may feel like we're not at that clean slate, that fresh start just yet. And the thing of it is we're not exactly stuck. We have the Eight of Swords here in the reverse. We are not stuck. Not at all. But we may still be telling ourselves some things that, regardless, maybe lies. We may kind of be entering in that stuck phase, but aren't quite there yet. We have to connect to our higher selves, where we're being asked to do the work, to move forward. And it's for our own betterment. King of Swords here. We're wanting clarity. And if you're not in a place where you're clear on things quite yet, ask for help. Please ask for help. Your spirit team is there. They will help you. They will send you signs. They will help clear the way to where you get it. And I say that because you do have the Page of Swords over here in reverse, which kind of tells me here with these last three cards, the Knight of Pentacles reverse, the Page of Swords reverse, the Hermit in reverse, that the reason why we haven't got this new start yet, even if we're not entirely stuck, we are moving, is that maybe we don't have a game plan. We don't have a strategy. We may be still saying some negative things, or probably at this stage, we're still a little confused. And it's because we're not looking within. The answers are always within. But sometimes our thoughts can be muddled. Our connection to our higher self is disrupted. There's blockages sometimes, whether your chakras are dirty, you just have too much stimulation from the outside world, you're on social media too much, you're always on the go, you don't have that moment to pause. And when that happens, it's really hard to hear your own inner voice. It's hard to hear guidance, and that could be why you're not looking within. So what we need to really do is take a moment and gain clarity. This King of Swords, Judgment, King of Swords, these two cards that I did not see that are here earlier when I shuffled, that I had to put back in the right order. These two cards are important. We're being asked to broaden our own horizons. We're being asked to look at things, to analyze, to see the bigger picture. And that's all across the board of what stays, what goes, what do we want, what kind of effort are we willing to put in. Remember our Justice card up here. What effort are we putting in? What effort are we getting out? What do we actually want? What are we pursuing? And yeah, this is a process. And until we take proper steps, till we have that game plan, till we take action with our Page of Wands and we get over that fear and we gain our clarity, we're not going to get that new start just yet. It's there. It's waiting. Your higher self is wanting to go to it. And for this new moon period, you may not achieve it in the, couple days that this energy is here. But overall, you're being called to have awareness of it. Because there's a lesson here to learn. Now, maybe it's something small that you need to cut out. Maybe it's a toxic person that just makes you unhappy. Maybe it's a career that's not fulfilling, or, bad management. It's a toxic work environment and you're being called to leave it. You're being asked to grieve, to walk away from something, to make room for something better, for something that's an improvement. And no, sadly, it's not going to be accomplished in a short amount of time. So this is something that you're going to have to work on and continue working on it. As long as you know what the goal is and gain clarity, eventually you will get that new start. You will see the improvement. It just probably won't be within this new moon period. It'll be out further than that, I'm afraid. Something to think about. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get into your oracle cards here. I have several. I think you have like half the deck here. Because this is only like a 44 card deck. So we're just going to go like this, and we're gonna start at the one, and this is the very last card in the deck, and it's the first card that you got out, which is Lantern. Consciousness is light. Sometimes you really have to be your own light at the tunnel, or when you have a dream, you have a vision, you have to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Jupiter, trining, this new moon, silver linings, right here, this card. Being made aware of things, being able to see connections. There may be things that are also coming in, but aren't here yet. This could be you being able to at least see it, to dream it, to believe it enough that you actually start to manifest it. Like I said, believing things, seeing things. Our King of Swords here, perspective. A calm and clear mind is free to see differently. Perspective is everything, honey. Mindscape. What you see, what you believe, if you can dream it, see it in your mind's eye, you can manifest it, you can make it real. Your mindscape is your reality itself. Your mind actually dictates how you perceive this world, and it is important. So whether or not you deem something positive, negative, or somewhere in between, you make it so by believing that. So be careful what you have for your thoughts, what you tell yourself. Don't get stuck, because sometimes we can talk ourselves into a corner, and that's when we get the Eight of Swords in the upright. We get stuck. We put limiting beliefs on things. We may say things that aren't true. Which brings us to our next card, Voice. You are here to be known, so speak and be seen. You may come across situations with all of this, because we do have quite a bit of swords, that if you're cutting out somebody toxic, or if you're leaving a toxic work environment, or you just need to be honest with yourself, you may need to speak up and be like, this doesn't work for me anymore. This does not work. I don't want this. I want that. I don't need this. I need that. Your voice is a very powerful tool, and sometimes you really have to speak things into the universe. And this is definitely showing up. Also, I have to say, voice. If you are unsure of something, if you don't know which way to turn it to, ask for help. You have a voice for a reason. Please use it. Ask for help. Transitions. You have all the inner resources you need to cross whatever bridges arise on your path. Remember, we just had a Tower moment. That's in your recent past. And I've already told you with this Hermit card in reverse that we may not be looking within, but all the answers are within. You really do have everything you need. You're kind of in an influx. There's some things you've let go of. There's some things that you want that aren't here yet. And it may feel like you're stuck in limbo. Or as I said with the environment, this Ace of Cups in reverse, you may feel like you're lost at sea. Of, okay, well, which way do I go? What do I do? What do I need to take for steps? Maybe why we get this Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. We haven't set goals. We haven't strategized. We don't know which way to turn. But you do have answers, and you can get them. Like I said, use your voice. Ask for help. Transition periods are always tough. Always. Pardon me. False beliefs. Once the untruths that we believed about ourselves are illuminated, so are the ways we can release the false limitations they can find us to. Okay, that's that Eight of Swords in the reverse showing up. Because false beliefs, I'm sorry, are very much an Eight of Swords moment. And I think I also mentioned this with our King of Cups in reverse, that maybe we're not so kind to ourselves. Maybe some of that needs to go. Maybe some of our self-talk. Maybe we need to have a little bit more self-compassion. And that could be something that we're telling ourselves, that we are not enough, or that we can't do things. All these kind of things that we can tell ourselves. That inner voice that tries to keep us down, our ego, as it were, can definitely keep us stuck, and we need to get rid of that. That could be one of the things that we are trying to eliminate, something that we are removing. And unfortunately, if this is negative self-talk, it's one of the hardest things to remove ever. Because sometimes you really are your own worst enemy, and it's very easy to do negative self-talk, and a lot of the times we don't always catch ourselves when we do it. So awareness is key. Try to be a little bit more aware, even after the fact, if we say something negative to ourselves, or if somebody else says something to us of, oh no, you can't do that. Realize your own potential, that yes, you can. You have the ability. Accountability. Responsibility is a gift of love to yourself and to others. Like I said, chaotic world, we all have our own duties, our own responsibilities that we're all trying to juggle all at the same time. And in all that chaos, we're trying to work on ourselves, go after our own happiness, and it can be overwhelming. And breathe. Just breathe. Take moments to pause. This is why I said grounding exercises may be very important right now. Getting back to center is going to help with all of that chaos. And I'm sorry for my dog, but there's nothing I can do. Package is being delivered, so he's going nuts. Renewal, regeneration begins with decay. Remember our recent past, we had a tower moment. So now we're trying to find our new equilibrium and also identify things that still need to change. But with everything that dies, there is a rebirth. This is, of course, Scorpio energy. This is akin to the death card in this deck of life, death, and rebirth. And yes, you will need to shed things, remove things in order to birth new life into something. Like I said, you have to release things to make room for others. Women supporting women. Together we can transcend our individual limitations. Soul tribe, baby. Friends, family, soul tribe that supports you. This is also your spirit team. Remember, ask for help. If you are stuck, if you need to voice your opinions, if you need to talk something out, if you can't puzzle it out on your own, get a different perspective. It's okay. Like I said, ask for help. Help is there whenever you need it. Don't be afraid to ask. Moving forward, the first step is taken within our stillness. Like I said, sometimes the reason why we're not totally moving forward is because we don't have a game plan or clarity enough to look within for the answers. It's not that we're holding still, it's just that we're not going full blast on straight ahead. It's not like we're, all systems go and rampaging through wherever at full throttle. We're still moving. We're still making progress. Remember, baby steps are still steps. Okay, spirit self, be who you are, as you are. Sometimes we have to deal with that perspective of who we are now, who we used to be, and who we want to be. Those are 3 separate things, honey. 3 separate things. And we have to realize that in this life, we're on a spiritual journey. So that's going to change. We can't live in the past of who we were. We've changed. We've learned. We've grown. Or at least, hopefully, we have. We have to be who we are now. Granted, we can't live in the future either. There's things we're always going to want. There's things that we're going to have changed. There's experiences we're going to have. But that's not who we are in this moment. So sometimes we have to be in the moment and realize how far we have to go, but how much we have transitioned from the past to now. And be present. This is also a card of connection to your higher self. Realizing you have a higher self. You have a higher purpose. Things will change. But for now, try to be present. Try to accept where we are now in this moment. It will help. Forgiveness. Hurt blocks our light. Remember, I did say grounding exercises, chakra healing, as well as grieving here with our higher expectation, this 5 of Cups. There are certain things that you're going to have to let go of. And yes, that does require a point of grief, of mourning something, of saying, okay, I've had this for 5 years, 10 years. I love this thing, but it's got to go. I have to let this go. And taking a moment to appreciate it for what it was, what it is, what it did, what it doesn't do anymore, and send it on its way. Alright, which brings us to this card right here. Weeping Wound. You are not your wounds. So if we're severing things that are harmful to us, or just cutting things out in general, sometimes they leave a gaping wound or hollow spot behind. We realize something is missing. Now, usually when we cut things out, something positive, something better usually comes in to take its place. But in the case of trauma, we could literally have wounds that we are attempting to heal. And let's face it, you are not your past mistakes. So if you screwed up and did something wrong, remember that is not all of who you are. You are more than your wounds. I've mentioned this before. Enough. You were born enough. Remember to speak highly of yourself. Be kind to yourself when you speak. Realize you are worthy of being loved, of having joy, of being able to be happy, to experience things positive, not just always negative. You are enough. You are more than enough. Assistance with access. It is necessary to ask for and accept help in order to receive it. Okay, I've mentioned this with the voice card, and periodically even with the hermit card in reverse over here. If you get stuck, or if you need answers, or if you're not sure what direction you need to be going in, ask for help. Please ask for help. It doesn't have to be even a physical person. You can ask your spirit team, whoever you pray to, whether that's a god, goddess, or, you know, other. Ask for help. It will be given. Wishful expectations. Acknowledge the smoke and mirrors in your life for what they are. Okay, this is very much ties in with our false belief card, as well as our previous tower moment. There are certain things that we like to be true. There's things that we lie to ourselves about. There's things that we look with rose-tinted glasses. And what this card is basically wanting you to do is to acknowledge what those things are. Because once we identify them, we can deal with them. In other words, what does not serve? What do we need to remove and cut out? What doesn't fit with where we're wanting to go? Or what did we just cut out that didn't fit with where we are now? Like I said, this could also tie into our recent tower moment. It's an ongoing process. Repair. Making amends rather than the fun times reveals a relationship's true constitution. The most important relationship you're ever going to have is the relationship with yourself. So as much as this could speak to, you know, friendships, if you had a strange friendship and you had to make amends and you're having to repair it because one of you made a mistake, or, you know, to rebuild a friendship, or even a partnership if this is, you know, somebody you had a love relationship with. The most important relationship you're ever going to have is the one you have with yourself. So repairing your own traumas, your own wounds, your own expectations, addressing your own limitations, doing your shadow work, and repairing yourself and gaining that higher vibration is highly important. That's why you are here. Circles. Clarity begins in the eye of the storm. Like I said, things are chaotic, and it can be really hard sometimes to hold still for a moment, to be able to have that inner look, that hermit moment, to see what you need to see, to hear what you need to hear, to gain that clarity. And unfortunately, this is a vicious cycle, especially in modern day society. Like I said, we have an overstimulation, social media, we're always moving fast paced. Sometimes it's really hard. This is where that grounding exercises I keep bringing us back to, getting to nature, you know, meditation, crystal work, what have you, whatever works for you. This is where you're going to want to hopefully bring that in. That will help clarify things. Also, ask for help. Sorry, I'm still getting ask for help. Ask for help. Which, yes, that will also bring clarity, because with that asking for help, you will gain enlightenment through whatever answers or sources that you will be given. Radical honesty. To believe in the facade is to suffocate in the armor of alienation, self-defeat, and self-denial. I hate to break it to you, kids, but you have to be honest with yourself above all. And sometimes that's easy, and sometimes that's really harsh, and we don't like it because we like our fantasy land. Unfortunately, that doesn't always serve us. We have to be honest and truthful for what we want, what we need, what serves us, what doesn't, what stays, what goes, where we want to be, where we are now, where we used to be, what we don't like. And you have to have that moment where you get real. You have to reassess. You have to draw boundaries. You have to have that awareness. And in order to do that, you have to be honest and really see. You have to have that perspective of yourself and everything around you and how you coincide, and find the truth of it all. That's that clarity also coming in. Sharing. There is giving and receiving and giving. I know I've been talking about cutting things out, and a lot of people don't like hearing those words, just because it's like, okay, I'm getting rid of everything, I'm just letting it go, I'm always cutting things out. Remember, when you cut things out, better things take its place. You're making room. So it's a cycle of getting rid of old and receiving new. There is a certain rhythm to that. There is purpose in that. Also, like we have the women supporting women, your soul tribe can offer advice. They can offer insight. You can gain that new perspective. You can also ask for help, whether this is spirit tribe, friends, family, or your spirit team. You can receive. They can give you answers, help, different perspective, information. Ask for it. Remember, use that voice. And here we go. Emptied. The ending and beginning lie at either side of the same door. Like I said, a lot of people don't like it when they keep hearing that I have to cut things out. I have to get rid of this. I have to get rid of that. I have to keep tearing things out. At a point, they may feel empty, feel hollow, feel like they've hit rock bottom, and they question why. Like I said, when you empty a cup, you can always refill it again. But in order to refill it to overflowing, you always have to take something out, usually. And unfortunately, yes, we did have a tower moment. And there could be a little bit of an empty space from whatever our tower moment was, or whatever we're about ready to release and cut out. Like I said, 5 of Cups. Whatever you're getting rid of or have gotten rid of, give a moment to mourn it. It is necessary. It is okay to have that moment to appreciate something for what it was and what it did before you let it go and make room for something else. Broken dreams. Only you can accept or reject your dreams. Okay, this has to do with our Knight of Cups over here. There's things that we may not think we're worthy of or can do practically or persist in, but there's things that we have to walk away from. But when we do that, we make room for other things. And yes, we can accept our own dreams if we get out of our own way. And as much as we may have 5 or 6 dreams in life of things we wish to accomplish, things we wish to do, there's no limit on how many dreams we can have, number 1. 2, just because one dream doesn't come true or we decide it does not work for us does not mean that all the dreams end. There's always another dream we can grab onto, other things that we want, other things that we would like to pursue, and that is okay. We can have dreams. We will find one that works for us, but only if we have the courage to go after it and to see it through. There's a certain amount of work that always goes with that. But that doesn't mean that because one dream didn't work, that none of them will work. There will be something that works. You just have to find it. intention. Lacking personal direction begets confusion and life as a pawn to someone else's game of chess. I've already mentioned this several times about having lack of clarity and living in the now and realizing where you are now versus where you were, where you'd like to be in future, and how to get there. Intentions are everything. Do you intend to let things go? Do you intend to take that next step forward? Do you intend to go after that dream? Do you intend to manifest more things into your world? Do you intend to chase happiness? Do you intend to keep doing your shadow work? Do you intend to evolve and grow as a person? Do you intend to see something different for your future other than what you have today? And this ties back into our King of Cups, which is our last and final card, Radical Self-Acceptance. You are perceived the way you perceive yourself. You tell people how to treat you. So if you treat yourself poorly, why should anybody else treat you any differently? And that let me say that again, because that's a hard one to accept and to hear. If you treat yourself poorly, why should anyone else do any differently? Treat others the way you want to be treated. And the most important relationship you have is with yourself. So the person, above all, that you should treat the best is yourself. Accept who you are, what you are, how you've grown, and where you are now. That doesn't mean that you're going to be in the same spot 5 years from now or a year from now. You always have the opportunity to try better tomorrow. So go ahead and use that confidence. Gain that clarity. Do what works best for you. Remove what doesn't serve. Accept the hard parts. And realize, yeah, some things you're going to have to work at. And it's okay. Accept that too. Realize we are all growing. Alright, my lovelies. I know this is a little bit of an adjustment. Hopefully, some of this resonated for you in some way or fashion. If it did, go ahead. Please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know how it resonates for you. And I will catch you later.